Hello, everybody. Uh, Welcome to today's course. Today we are going to start, actually yesterday and the previous lesson, we have started array lists, but today we will start over. But before that, let's review what we have learned in the previous lesson. Yes, we have tried to learn how to add a new element to array, and we are not actually changing the array. We are creating a new array, and with the new value, we are creating a new array, and we are reassigning the new array to old one. Also, we have learned multi-dimensional arrays. I mean, outer array, inner arrays. You can store a lot of different values like this. Actually, outer array is storing other arrays. That's the case. To reach inside elements, you should use two for I loops. And if you want to print it like this, you should use deep to string array. Normally, we use this one, if you remember, to print an array. But if you want to print a two-dimensional array or more, you should use deep to string method to print all the elements. And we have solved a lot of questions. I strongly advise you to solve all of them yourself without looking at the solutions. Of course, before solving it, to understand the logic, you can check the solution. But when you start solving the question, you should not look at it. It's important. When you're stuck somewhere, of course, check the solution. But try to create the logic yourself, and you should try to write all the codes without checking the solution. Yes, there were a few disadvantages of arrays. We cannot add element, or we have to set a length when we are creating the array itself. But we may not be able to learn now the list of products, the number of products before creating the list. Or after a day, I may want to add new products to my list. If that's the case, if you want to create a flexible list, you should use array lists instead of normal arrays. Array lists use same structure where they are very similar, but because of their dynamic and resizable features, we prefer using lists to store products in a list. Yes, disadvantages, I have tried to explain them. And, array lists use array structure, but adding or deleting elements easier than normal array. Actually, it's impossible when we talk about arrays. But it has one disadvantage. It is when you have created an array list like this, you have to add the elements one by one. Or you can create a method to add the elements. But you should remember that when you create a list, you have to add elements one by one, like this. How do we create a list? It's very easy. Just writing list and the data type here, the name of the list equals new array list. Here, the data type cannot be primitive when we are talking about lists. You should remember that. You cannot use primitive data types. I mean, data types, first letter should be always a capital. Otherwise, Java will complain there. And one more thing, I think we should know. When we were creating a scanner object, if you remember, scanner scan equals new scanner. And we're writing something in here, but it's not important. The main thing, we were using the class name, object name, new keyword, and this is the again class name. You can say it for now. It's not a class name, but don't worry about it for now. It is actually a constructor. But as you can see, we were creating the objects like this. But here, when we use list and list, just like this one, it does not like it, because this is not a class. After the free session, we will explain what it is. It's an interface, and you cannot create an object from an interface. So we use a class, normal class. This is the interface, and if you want to create an object from an interface, you should use a class name. Okay, now we cannot create it like this. When you are creating a list, you should use array list at the right side of the equation. Oh, you know, we are setting, we set the data type here, but you can also write it here. It is not very important. If you want, you do not need to write it. As you can see, the color is pale here because we do not need to write it like this. So we should create it. The proper way of creating a list is like this one, the second one. And here there are a few things trying to explain what's going on there. Okay, let's start creating an array list. Today is day 21. Let's create a package, name package, day 21, array list. The first one is coming. The first class, CO1, creating array list. Let's create one. It's not very hard, you know, actually it's very easy. Main, and here I will create an array list. List, and between diamonds, I will write the data type. I will store string values, and the name will be name list. It will be new array list like this. It is complaining to stop the just add it to the importing list here. Okay, we have I just imported the list from Java. Let me show it one more time. First, I need to import this one. I will click on import class. You should use Java utils. I need to import this one too, and voila, it's ready. And we have created a list. It's that easy. Just we need to write the data type here. Array list does not accept primitive data types. So we should use a non-primitive data type, like string. And let's write something here. List is an interface, so we cannot create an object from it directly. I cannot create objects from interfaces. So at the right side, we need to write array lists, diamonds, and okay. Now we have created the array list. Let's try to add a few variables to it. It's very easy. Just write the name list dot add I am planning to store string values, so I should write a string value here. John. Let's add another one. Name list.add Michael. Okay, I have added two names to my list. How do we print it? When we're talking about arrays, we need to ask from arrays class, but for the lists, you can directly print them. Sort array name list. When we are trying to print it, we can directly print it like this. Now let me write and explain comment here. Here it is. The list has been printed without any problem. We can add elements one by one by using add method. We can print a list directly in sort command. And the result will be this. Of course, if I have created a a list to store numbers, there will be numbers here. Okay, let's go back and check the slide. Here we have a list, an empty list, which we have created like this. The name is numbers, and I am adding 20. Then I will add first 10 and the 20 are added here. Then I am adding using add command to add an element by using the index. Let's see that one. I will write the elements. First, I have added 10. Then I added 20, right? Let me write the index numbers here. This is index 0, and this is index 1. In the next step, I am trying to add an element by using index number. It's very important. When I do this one, it will add 21 to index 1. But I am not setting something. I am not changing any value. I am adding a new element. But new element will go to the index 1. This means from now on, index 1 will be 25. So it will add the new value between them. 21 will be the index 1, which will change this 20's index value. Add means that we are adding a new element like this. Okay, let's return the coding. We can learn everything from the code, and we can review them from the slide. That will be better, I think. But before that, I want to check the YouTube account to see if we have any question there. We do not. If you have any question, please do not hesitate to ask. I would love to answer them. Okay, going back to the project. I will create another class. How can we add elements to a list? Not one by one. I want to add them all together. Nothing is impossible in coding. We can always find an easy way to do the job. I think elements. It's not very hard, don't worry. Let's say we want to add a few letters to the array. Add all these letters to a list. I will enter a few letters. So we have the elements. How can I add all these elements? Let's say we do not know a way to add all these elements to a list directly, but I know a way to add them to an array, right? If you remember, if I write them between curly brackets, I can add them or set these values to an array list. I'm sorry, to an array. Then I can use a for I loop. This for I loop will take a value from the created array, then it will add it to the actual list. To do that, first we will create an array by using the elements. Then we need an empty list, right? Create an empty list to add element. By using for I loop, we will reach the elements of the array. Then we will assign each one of them to the list. Okay, we have a plan. We have a plan now. Let's create an array by using those elements. How do we create an array? String array, the name will be array, and between curly brackets, I can directly write the elements. I know you. Okay, without adding them one by one, I have created an array by using the given letters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I need to create an empty list now, right now. List. What will have this list will have string values in it, right? Because all of them are string values. Between diamonds, I will write string. The name can be anything. List created list and new keyword and blah blah. Okay, we have completed 2 steps, and the next one is coming. For I loop. The plan is reaching all those elements. So creating number will be 0, index number starting from 0, and the length will be the limit. This array's length will be the limit because I am trying to reach the elements one by one. Array.length. We have it. This will reach to all the elements by using I number, of course. The last part is adding them to the list. How can I add it? I can write the created list.add. Now the first value of I will be 0. And how can I reach the first element by using 0? It's very easy. Array index I. It will be 0, and 0 will be added to my created list. In the second loop, E will be added, I or U, all of them will be added to my list. Then I just need to print the created list. So created list. That's all. It did not take much time, as you can see. You can do it by creating method 2. Let's create a method, and we can use to create a list with a lot of elements. I will create a method. I want to create, okay. I will create a method. It means we will have a machine. I will send the array just like this one. It will work on it, and it will return a list. This I will assign it to the list. Here it is. It is working as planned. Let's create the method. Now, created list will be equal to a method call. It will be add element method. Add element by array method. Here we are sending an array like this, for example. I will write array here because I am sending a string array. Or let's create, we can also create a new array if you want, but the method won't change. Let's create the method. Here it is. I am planning to return a list. Okay, it's here, and it will accept the array here. It is very easy. I will copy this part. I do not need to print it here. Oh, where did I copy it? Sorry. I should pass it to the method. Okay, now we have it. I do not need to print it. Instead, I need to return created list. And after calling the method, let's print the value. So created list. From now on, instead of writing all those loops, values, we can just we should just use this method. I will make it public, so we can call it from different packages and classes. If it is private, you cannot call it, use it from anywhere else. You have to, if it is private, you have to use it in the same class. If it is public, it is for everybody. You can use it from everywhere. Whoever you are, it is at your service. Now we are going to see same similar list. Here it is. It is working without any problem. You may think we added all those variables at the first method. Then we are trying to add new elements to the list, same list. Yes, but we are using the array, same values, and we are creating the list inside of the method by using the same values, and we are assigning it to the created list. It is starting from 0. Let's see. Oh, let's try to solve a few examples. Less size, and what was the other one? Is empty. The O3 list size. It is actually very easy. I will create an array, and I will use the method I have created here to create a new array. String array The name will be array. The values will be Hassan, Veli, Ali, and John. Now I have an array. I have added all those elements to this array. And by using this method, which I have created in this class, I will create a list. To use a method, first we need to write the class name, CO2, adding elements from day 21. Okay. Dot. Why we cannot see it? How we don't have main method. Sorry. Now let's create the main method and now dot. I have just created the main method. Okay, I will send the array here. This will create a list. Perfect. But to use it, I need to save it somewhere. This will create a list, but it is in the air if you don't use it. Now let's create a list. Lists. This list will have string values, names, and the name will be name list. I will import it from Java util equals to this. Then I can print it, of course. Sort name list. Until now, we have used mostly lang word, but to see how many elements are there in a to see how many elements there are in a list, we should use size. So name list size. It's coming. It has 4 elements. I'm shocked. To see number of elements, we should use size method instead of length. So it's okay. Now we had another one. Let's use it too. Start name list is empty. Of course, it will be false because it has elements in it. To see if it is empty or not, we can use is empty method. Here we have used to see the size of the list, just like this, is empty returns true if there is nothing inside of it, inside of the list. List contains, this is an important one. This time, let's create a number list. Let's store numbers in it and let's check. Okay. CO4 contains. First, I need a list, right? I will create an array with the numbers. Then I will turn it to a list. Integer array numbers will be the name of our array, and I will add random numbers. Doesn't matter how many we have. Well, let's turn it to a list. To turn it to a list, I need a list, an empty list. This one will have numbers in it, integers, I mean. But as you can see, when I write like this, it does not accept it. It should be non-primitive.types. Numbers list will be the name. It will be empty at first, new array list. I will create a for I loop to reach all the elements from numbers array for I. Numbers blank and number list add I will add numbers index I. Then we have the list. Let's print it. South numbers list. Sorry. Okay, we have the list, a perfect list. Let's check now. Does the list contain 9? Sort number list that contains, just like a string variable, you can enter the values. The result will be true because it has a 9 here. If I check 1, does the list contain 1? Sort number list that contains 1. This time result will be false because the list does not have number 1. Okay, let me check if we have any question. No. Okay, let's continue. We will review from the slide. Yes, checking if an element exists in the list. List name contains just like a string value, and you need to write the desired or wanted object. I'm saying object because when we talk about non-primitive data types, integer, for example, all the numbers will act like an object. And you can enter a number directly here. Don't worry about it for now. And here, just like the previous one, I have created a for I loop, and numbers are added to the list. And we are using contains method like this to see if it has 4 in it. Does it? Yes. Okay. Don't worry about it for now. We will see that part too. I will create another class. Or we are ready to solve a question, I think. Q05 deleting repeated numbers. Okay, it's easy. Somehow we should be able to delete repeated elements. How can we do that? We have a list, we will have a list, and somehow I will try to delete repeated elements. Actually, it's not very hard, but creating logic can be a little hard, of course. Okay, I have contains method. And I will do it like this. We will have an array list. Let's write it from here. we have an array. And we will check, we are trying to delete repeated elements. Delete repeated elements. For example, 8, there are a lot of 8s here. There will be only one array. Just like the previous one, I will create a for I loop. I will reach the elements and I will add them to a list. But before adding, I will put an if statement. If the new list has the elements, I won't add it. I mean, I will add 6. Now let's do it. The new list will have 6. Then I'm using loop. I will add 4. I will add 8. After that, I should add 4. But somehow I should create a logic here because there is 4 in the loop, in the new list. So I should not add it. If I can check if new list contains it, don't add it. When we try to add 4, it will check the new list. It has it. It won't add it. 6 will come here. We are trying to add 6, but it has it. And the if condition will be false. It won't add it. What about 5? When we try to add 5, new list does not contain 5, so 5 will be added. That's the logic we will use here. Create an empty list by for I loop. Add the elements, but before adding the elements, use an if statement to check if new list has the element. New list contains the element. Okay, let's create the empty list. This time we will have numbers, integers. The name will be new list, just like the example. Equals the new array list. We have the empty list. Okay, let's create a for I loop to add the elements. For I. It will start from and it will continue until the numbers length has been reached. So before adding the elements, I need to create an if statement. If a new list contains it, I don't want to add it. If it does not, I will add it. If it contains it, this will be true, but I don't want to it. So if it does not contain it, I will write something here. What I'm checking right now, numbers, square brackets, I. Does new list have 6? No, add it. New list add numbers I will be 0 at first. So everything will be about index 0. Does new list contains 6? No. The new list will have 6. Then it will check. Does new list contain 4? No. Add it. It will be false, but because of this exclamation mark, it will turn to true, and it will add it. 6 will be checked, 8, sorry, then 4. 4 won't be added because new list has already 4 in it. It won't, this statement will be false, this code won't be executed. At the end, let's print it. So, elements deleted list. It will be new list. Oh, where is the problem? Here it is. Here the result. If they ask you if the question was a little different, numbers in an array. If it was like this, question would not finish here. Because this is a list. I need change that type to array. Because we are trying to delete repeated numbers in an array. The results should be also an array. But let's have our break time, then we will continue. But before that, let me check if we have any question. No, we do not. After 15 minutes, we will continue. Welcome back. I hope you are ready for the next session, next lesson. Okay, we were trying to solve a question, and delete repeated numbers in an array. That was the question. Yes, we deleted the elements of the array, but the result is a list. We don't want that. We deleted elements of array, but still a result is a list. We need to rechange it to an array. We need to save numbers in an array. It's very easy. I will do the same thing, but this time I will take those values and I will store them in an array. Let's do that. Another for while loop. The index will start from 0 and the limit will be new list length. Not the length, sorry, the size. Now we have size. If you are talking about the list data type, to see the length, we should use size. I need an empty array here. I will use the size again. Integer new array. It will be new comma. I cannot see it, sorry. There was something there. New integer and I will write new list size dot size. It is not accepting because, oh, of course, I have forgotten. Oh, okay, now we have it. As you can see, we have an empty array. Created an empty array to save new numbers. And one by one, let's reach the new list elements. They are unique, we already deleted the repeated elements, so I do not need to check anything. I just need to add them to new array. A new array I will be the list elements. Don't worry, it's not very hard. But to get a value from the list value is new list. How can I get the values by using index? In the array, we were using it like this. But when we are talking about lists, it is a little different. This time we will use get and the I. A second, please. Sorry, my boy was crying, my baby. I informed the mother about the situation. So, okay, we are reaching each element, and by using I value, I am adding them to the array. Let's print the array right now. So, if you want to print the array, we need help. To string and the new array. Let me write and explain here. Deleted, repeated numbers are deleted. Okay, let's make a little cosmetic here. So at the end, you will see it like this. It is the same thing. When we see it on the console, there's no difference between them. I know that, but actually this is an array, and this is a list. And save it in an array. Okay, that's better. I explained what we have done here. This is a critical point. Let me write and explain it here. To reach an element of a list, we use get method, and inside of it there should be index. Okay, let's go back to the slide. And there are a lot of things here. Oh yes, here the next topic was that reaching an element at the index we want from the list. The name of the list .get, and the index value should be here. If you want to reach the value at the index 1, 0, 1, it will be relevant. If you use get 2, it will print index 2, 0, 1, 2. Esra will be here, but the first letter will be a capital letter. But you got the idea, okay. Let's use the list set now. I will create another one. CO6 set method. Okay, let's try to understand how it works. I will copy the array from here. It's very hard to write it again and again. And we will assign it to a list. But before that, I want to take a slip from my team. And when I did that, my brain started again because we haven't created the main method. Okay, now I can do whatever I want. We have the array, and now we will turn it to a list, of course. But before turning to a list, I want to write what set method does. List dot set index comma a new value. This is the method. This method deletes the indexed value and sets new value at the index. For example, if you give these numbers index 0, 1, 2, 3, it deletes it. Then it sets the new value. For example, if you want to change it with 9, you should use it like this. One more thing. If you try to print it, this method returns old value. Yes, it returns old value. It will change 4 with 9. 4 will be 9, but it will also return you 4, the old value. I hope we got the idea. Let's start coding. First thing, I need to change this array to a list. I will use for loop to that, but before everything else, I need a list of numbers. The name will be numbers list. It will be a new array list. like this. Okay, let's import it. We have an empty list. For I, the limit is the sky, numbers, not that one, get length. And each time I will reach the value of the numbers, I will add it to my list. Number list add numbers. I should use different names. I. Okay, now I have the list. Let's print it. South numbers list. In time. Yes, we have the list. And if you want to change a value, I will use set. If we want to change a value at an index, we should use set method. Now let's change 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's change index 5. Now I will write 6, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because index 5 was 5. But when I make it 6, it will come this number to number 9. Okay. This time it couldn't run away from me. To a 9. Okay. Let's change the number at index 6 to 9. That's better. It's very easy. I will write numbers list dot set dot index 3 will be 9. That's all. Then I will print the same list one more time. Number list. Here we have 6 here. Oh, yeah, no, we have 3 here. And as you can see, it became 9. I want to tell you something. Add and set are different methods. Add and set methods are totally different. You will say why. Oh, also different there are. You will say why. Add is adding an element. It is not changing anything. But set changes the value. I mean, if I added this value to here, before the 3, there would be a 9. I will use same thing, but this time I will use add instead of set. Index 3, which is 9 right now, it will add another 9. So this 9 will be shifted to, this part will be shifted to right, and there will be another 9 here. Let's use different number. I will make it 7. All this part will be shifted to the right side. Then there will be a 7 there. As you can see, the number of numbers increased. And before the 9, now there's a 7. From the name, you can understand add as a new value to the list by using the index. Set updates the variable. And this updates, changes the value at index number. I think that's enough. We should be able to understand what's going on here. Let's go back to the slide. Now we have learned the set, but from here, let's try to understand. This time in this question, we have a string list, and we have a few values. I will write the index numbers. Let's write index numbers. For example, this is index 0, index 1, index 2, and index 3. And we are using set here. It means index 2 will be Yaşar from now on. So index 0, index 1, they are same. Index 2 became Yaşar, and index 3 is still Seher. If we had used add method, it wouldn't delete Esra. It would just add a new name between index 1 and index 2. Okay, if you want to delete an object, you just need to use remove. It's very clear, as you can see. Let's write another question for that. There is a little problem when we are using index number with the remove. I will try to explain that part. So let's create another class. The name will be CO6 remove. Okay, main method will be here, and we will. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, this is the question. Oh, let me fix it. Refactor. C, okay. And this should be 9. Refactor. Oh, 7, sorry. Oh, I'm saying 7, but writing 9. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, now everything's better. Yes, remove method. It's very easy. First, we will copy the array from the previous lesson class. Sorry. Then let's create our list for while loop. We have done it a lot of times, so I believe I do not need to explain what I'm doing here. And before that, I have to create an empty list, of course. Lists, integer, number, and list. Or I will just list here. I will just enter a list here. New array list. Okay. List, add numbers. I. We have the list, sort list. We have the list, as you can see. So let's use remove. I will remove list, remove, and I will write a number here, 2. What will happen now? Sort list. 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2. 8 has been deleted from the list. Okay, let's delete another one. List to move 5. From the explaining part, you can see index 5 will be deleted. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we found the 5. Let's use different number, 6. It will delete the 3. Oh, I have forgotten 3. This time, 3 won't be there. It is still there. Why? Oh, it's not that one. It deleted 5. Here, there was a 5 here, and it deleted the 5. Okay, it doesn't matter. I miscalculated index, it means. So it is working. But there's a problem here. We should be able to delete the objects too. But when we enter the number, it will be accepted as an index. But what if you want to delete 4 from the list? It is also possible by using this remove method. But as you can see, when we enter the number, it always accepts it as an integer, as an index value. Let's write it. We can also delete or remove desired value from the list. But if it is a number list, when we write the number, it will be accepted as index value. How can we solve this problem? To solve this problem, first we need to create the number. First, we need to create the number to remove. The number to remove. Let's say I want to delete this 5. I don't like it. I will create the number. Integer number to remove will be 5. Now I can remove the number 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It is at the index 4. This is the updated version of the list. We have deleted a few numbers, as you can see. So even though I will write remove to number, it will directly delete the 5. List remove number to remove. This time it will delete the number list. I will try to solve another question. Okay, it has a 5, now it has not. What about the 9? Or let's enter 6. It is better, I think. I will create another number, integer. Number to remove 2. It will be 6 this time. List remove number to remove 2. And then I will create the list. As you can see, and now everything is all right. There was a 6 at the beginning, and it deleted the 6. but it is only deleting one value. Remove deletes first. Deletes first value it sees. It starts from the beginning. From the beginning. Starting. Okay. One more thing. If we want to delete all 8 numbers, I have to answer this one. Sir, please. Okay. What I was saying. Yes. If we wanted to delete all 8 numbers from the list, we do not know any this kind of method. Actually, there is no method like this to delete all the numbers from the method. We should use Java here. I know how to delete one of them. How can I delete all of them? Actually, if you use a few methods which we have learned today, you can easily create it. We will create a loop, yes, but we do not know how many 8 numbers there are in the list. So we cannot use a for I loop. We should not use for I loop. Instead, we can use the while loop or while loop. Here, the best option is while loop because the main difference between while loop and the while loop is in the while loop, the code, the body will be executed no matter what once. It will be executed once no matter what. But we do not want that. The condition, if as long as list has 8 in it, we will delete it. As long as list has or contains the number, we will delete it. This is the logic, while and the body. As long as this part is true, loop will be executed. And as long as list has the number, I will delete it. A list contains 8, I will remove the 8. But here, don't forget, if you want to delete the number, you need to create it before the loop. Integer number to remove 3, it will be 8. And now I will write number to remove here. Right. And if list has it, let's delete it. List remove number to remove 3. And after that, let's print the list. So list. According to plan, all 8s should be deleted. And as you can see, we do not see any 8s. All of them are deleted from the list. Okay, let me write the. I hope I could be able to explain. Now let's do it one more time. If you want to delete all the four numbers from the loop, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are a lot of loops. Now, number to remove 3 will be 4. And I will use this number to delete all of them. I will use another loop while as long as list contains number to remove 3, we will delete it. List remove number to remove 3. And after that, let's print the list. Sort list. This time it will delete all of them. All the four numbers are deleted. What happens if you try to remove a number which is not there? Let me show you. So list remove 4. We have already deleted all of them. It will return false because it means it couldn't be able to remove it. It returned 5. Oh yes, when we write it like this, it is deleting the index. Sorry. Instead, I should use number to remove. For a second, I couldn't understand what's going on there. Yes, it is false now. As it should be. If it couldn't remove any number, it returns false, as you can see. Okay. Let me write an answer. Sorry. Yes, let's continue. Where were we? Let's go back to the slide. Yes, if you want to delete a desired element of or elements, you can use list remove. But here, if you use a string list like this, just writing the name can delete the volume. For example, list.remove Fatih. It will directly delete the Fatih. You do not need to create the Fatih string value before deleting it. But if you want to delete a number directly, the number, you should create it. Otherwise, it will be accepted as an index. It's important. And if the object, if the value is not there, the one you are trying to delete is not there, it will return false. If the index, the one you are trying to delete is not in the list, I mean, there are 4 elements here. If you try to delete index 10, the exception will be thrown. Okay, that's the problematic place. If you create a list of the numbers, and if you use the number to delete it, for example, you are trying to delete 2, but when you enter 2 here, it will delete the index 2. 20 will be deleted. To delete a value, you should directly create it like this. First, you need to create the number. Then you should write the name of the number to delete it. Then it will, when you use remove, it will delete it. We have another object here. If you write list.clear, it will clear everything. You will have a clean list, untouched list, and you can fill it with the numbers. That's very easy. When you see the clear, I think you can understand what's going on there. Okay. Yes, we have deleting all elements of another list in a list. This one is a little interesting one. Second, please. Yes, you can delete a list inside of a list when you use this one, list.remove all. And here you need to enter another list. For example, we have a list Fatih, Levent, Esra, Seher. And we have another list which has Fatih and Levent, first two of them. If you want to remove this list from the other one, this is they are the same values. They are included in this list. So here the name, this is the list to be deleted. And from the list, we are deleting list to be deleted. It will delete these names from the main list. That's all. If you want to check if they are equal, you should use it like this. List that equals just like string values, and other list should be written here. And if you cannot delete the list, it will return false, just like the remove method. Okay, this is important. The others was easy. Others were easy, I think. But let's try to understand this index of. I mean, the clear remove list or these methods were easy. You can understand them from the names. But let's check this index of. You may need to use it in real life, so it's important to learn it. Okay, I'm creating a new class, CO8 index O. Now we need a method. We need a list, of course. Let me save it. After creating the main method, I was just about to forget that. Okay, let's turn it to a list. List integers. List new array list. Okay, we have everything we need. For I loop. Numbers link list dot add and numbers index I. That's all. We have the list. Sort numbers. It is coming, and we have. Oh, what's that? Oh, sorry. I need to write the list. The created list is here. The name is list, so I need to print it. Okay. Everything is all right. It is not very hard. You know, if you want to see index of a value, for example, 8. So index list index of 8. It will give us 0, 1, 2. is here. What about index of 9? So index list dot index of 9. Of course, it will give us this one's index value 10. As you can see, it returns the first one's index value. If you want to see the last one's index value, we have also another way to that. So our list last index of 3. We have also 3 here, and it will print the last index of 3. It will start from the end of the list, but index number will be counted from the beginning. It's 23. 22, sorry. Here's us starting searching from the end. Starting from the end, it finds the value and returns the index of that value starting from the beginning. It was easy, as you can see, but we are going to use this index of blah blah in real life, so you should learn. Okay, thank you very much. Let's have our last break, then we will continue. See you after 15 minutes. Hello again. I think we got the idea of the lists. We have created a lot of lists by using loops, and we have learned how to use index of. The next topic will be from the slide. Yes, we have learned the list.index of starts from the beginning of the list and checks if the list has the element. If it has it, it will return the index number. If you want to start from the end of the list, you should use last index of. But don't forget, a list number starts always from the beginning. It doesn't matter from which side you start to check. The index number is always counted from the beginning. And a few things. Yes, let's try to solve questions. Okay, let's get positive integer from user and return small. No, don't worry. Let's solve this one. Question 2. I will try to find it. It should be somewhere here. Okay, I found it. Questions. C09. Creating a list from user. It doesn't as for the topic, but it works. I will go to test the question here. Not like this. Okay. Create a method that will take as many names as you want from the user. And return the names entered as a list when you press Q. The logic is very simple. We will create a method and it will return a list. Let's print it. Let's create a terminator. We will have a method and we are not sending anything. Inside of the method, it will take all the values from user. Take names from user. And this is a loop, right? As long as user does not press Q, loop will continue. Q will end the loop. And if user presses Q, it will end the loop. And then it will return the name list. All the names user entered should be returned. So whenever I call it, I will have a list. So I will create the list here. List, it will have names, and the name list, the name will be. Now I should call the method. Method name will be take names from user, save as list. If I was sending any value here, I will write it here. But as you can see, we are not sending anything. The method will handle everything itself. It will just return a name list whenever I call this method, and I am saving that returned name list to a name list. Let's create the method now. I will change the access modifier. It will be public. It will be ready for everybody. What will I do? We are planning to take names from user. We need a string scanner object. For a long time, we haven't created this object. I hope you did not forget how to create it. Dot in. We have created the object. And we will save all the names user enters to a list, but we don't have that list. Let's create a list. It will be an empty list. Name. It will have strings, values in it, and the name will be name list from user. New okay, it is an empty list, as you can see. The last part, we should create a loop. User will enter a name, and I will add it to the list. As long as entered value is not Q, as long as entered value is not Q, loop will continue. And we don't know how many times it will be executed. As long as entered value is not Q, loop will continue. And the second one, we do not know how many elements user will enter. We do not know how many names a user will enter. If you do not know how many it is, you should know we should use while loop or do while loop. And this is the condition, as long as entered value is not Q. Let's create a string, entered name, it will be, at first it will have nothing. Entered value is entered name, of course. So now I will create the while loop, because, and the condition will be, as long as the entered name is not Q, loop will add the new name. While the condition, as long as entered name is not equals to Q. Let's use equals ignore case. If user enters a lowercase, it will work. As long as it is not equal to Q, it will continue. So whatever I write here will be executed if the entered number is not Q. In the loop, always we need to ask user to enter a name. So please enter a name to add the list. And then let's write to finish. To finish, press Q. Okay, now we have the information. Entered name will be taken from user by using the scan object, and I will use scan next. We can also use scan next line. For example, perhaps user may have two names, but don't worry, for now, user has only one name. We have taken the name from user. Right now, we have the name. And we need to add it to the list, right? Well, let's add it. First, let's add it this way, then we will fix it. Name list from user dot add entered name. For now, that's all. We are going to fix something here. After the loop, in the loop, the system will create the list. Let's return the loop. Return the list we have created. Return name list from user. And let's run it. If there's a problem, we will fix it. And there is, actually, there's one problem here. Please enter a name to add to the list. Okay. SN, Lady, John. Oh, I have forgotten to print it. So name list. If you don't print it, you won't see anything. Let's write it one more time. SN, Lady, John, Lady, Michael, John. And I will press Q. As you can see, when I press the Q, the loop has ended, and I could be able to see the names I have entered. But at the end, there is something disturbing, something that shouldn't be there. We did not say anything, so the last one was Q. It is also added to the list. Somehow, we should check before adding to the list. If it is Q, we are not going to add it, right? If it is not Q, we will add it. So here, this line we were adding to names. Before adding, I should check if entered name equals, ignore case, Q. If it is not Q, add it. If it is Q, don't do anything. If the entered name is not Q, add it to the list. So this Q will not be added because at the last step, it is Q, this code won't be executed. That's all. We created it. Betty, Chan, Michael, John, Paul, Maradona. Thank you. This time, there is no Q at that, and all the names are added to the list. That's all. And if you want to create that kind of list from somewhere else, you can, because we have created a method for now. And this method can be used from everywhere because access modifier is public, as you can see. Let me check if we have any question anywhere. Okay, it seems like nothing. Okay. Perfect. Let's continue. Let's try to solve another question from the list. Do you know what Fibonacci is? Create a method that takes the positive integer from user and returns the smaller Fibonacci numbers to us as a list. Let me write Fibonacci numbers to the Google. Fibonacci numbers. It is like this: 0, and then 1. It starts with those numbers, and the next one is sum of previous two numbers. 1 plus 0 is 1. To calculate the next number, 1 plus 1 will be there. To calculate the next number, 1 plus 2, 2 plus 3, 3 plus 5, 8, 5 plus 8, it is 13, and it goes like this. It goes on like this. 8 plus 13, 21. 13 plus 21 is 34, and it is getting bigger every time. This is the way of Fibonacci. As you can see, it starts from here. Oh no, not that way. It starts from here, and every time it gets bigger. And there will be a lot of new numbers there. Do we have bigger Here, this is a good example. I couldn't draw it perfectly, but you should be able to see what's going on here. Here we have bigger one. And that's the biggest one, and I think it explains what I'm talking about. Okay, we understood the logic of Fibonacci and how it works. Now let's take and try to solve that question. This one is not easy. We are going to use different logics, but don't worry, we will be able to do it. Okay, let's go back to the quote. CO10, 10 Fibonacci numbers. Let me check something. Yes, Fibonacci. I will create the main method, then the question. Okay, create a method. We will create a method. Perfect. Takes the positive integers from user. Oh, we are going to take a positive integer from user. That's acceptable. And we will return smaller Fibonacci number. I mean, if you take 10, we will print all the Fibonacci numbers until 10. That's the task. Okay, it will return us a list. So I should create a list here. List, it will have integers, Fibonacci, and numbers will be the name. It will be equal to method call, and we will send a number to user. Print all Fibonacci numbers until the number. And here I will enter the number what user enters. If user enters 10, we will send 10. But of course, let's take the number from user, because creates a method that takes positive integer from user. Oh, method should take the number from user. We are not going to send it to method. It will be like this. We will create a method. We are not going to send anything. It will take it from the user itself. Scanner will be in the method, and it will take the number from user. Then it will calculate the Fibonacci numbers. It will return all the Fibonacci numbers as a list. Like this. This one will return a list, and the list will be saved in this name. Let's import it. In the main method, I will just call the method, and everything will be handled in the method. I will make it public as a first step, because I want to reach it from different classes if I need. Take a deep breath, relax, and it will be a little confusing because of the Fibonacci logic. As an example, I want to write the Fibonacci numbers here. 0, 1, 1. There should be something between them. And then 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, and it goes on that way. I'm just calculating the sum of previous two numbers. First, let's go step by step. First, we need to take the number from user. Take the number from user. That's the easy part. Scanner, scan, new scanner. Okay, why you're not working? Oh, of course. Okay. Oh, no. Scanner, scan, new. Okay, this time it worked. Okay, we have the number not right now. We have the object we can use to take the number from user. Integer and limit number will be taken from user. We have the limit. This number will be the last Fibonacci number. It won't be the last one, of course. The last Fibonacci number may be smaller than, lower than this one, but it is the limit. There won't be any Fibonacci number higher than this number. So we have everything we need. How can we create the logic? It is not hard, but at the same time, it is not very easy. How can we create a logic to calculate these parts? This part actually is the hardest part. Let's focus on how Fibonacci works. It calculates the next number by calculating sum of previous two numbers. Okay, that may work. I need a few numbers because, Fibonacci first two numbers are not created from anywhere. We are going to create them ourselves. Integer. First number will be 1. And I will create a list. I will add this two numbers or three numbers to my list. I need a list. Okay, let's create list. It will store integers. And in this list, I will put the Fibonacci numbers. Fibo numbers. That's better, right? It makes it funnier. Fibo numbers. I like that. Leave a release. Let's add first 2 or 3 numbers. I will use 3 numbers, so it's not very important, but okay. Let's add 3 numbers. Fibo numbers add, first number is 0. Fibo numbers add, the second number is 1. I do not need to add the third one, but to be sure, I will add it. Fibo add 1. This is also 1. We have added 3 numbers. And in the list, the next number will be index 3, right? Because we have added index 0, index 1, and index 2. The next one will be index 3. Now let me write integer index. It will be equal to 3. We have already added 3 numbers, so next numbers index value will be 3. Okay, everything is ready. How can I create a logic now? I should create a loop. And I do not know how many times loop will be executed. So I will use while loop. We don't know how many loops will be executed until we reach limit number. So because of that, I will use while loop. While the condition should be written between normal brackets. What will be the condition? Each time in the loop, I should calculate the next number, right? If user entered 40, for example, and I have there's 3 numbers. Somehow I need to calculate the next number, like 2. I will add another one because we are calculate new Fibonacci number. Integer new Fibonacci Fibo number. Oh, integer new Fibo number will be 0 at first. You can set anything, but I prefer 0. If new Fibo number, as long as it is a lower than limit number, loop will continue. As long as calculated new Fibo number is lower than limit, loop will continue. We have long nights for the loops. Okay, as long as new Fibonacci number is lower than limit number, the loop will continue. Okay, we have set the condition. Somehow, by using the index, I will reach the values. For example, I have index 3. I am trying to reach 0, 1, 2, 3. Index is 3. Oh, 2, 3. Index equals to 3. And I have created an index value like this. How can I reach the number at index 3? I haven't created, I couldn't be able to calculate the number 2 because 0, 1, 1 is here, but somehow I should calculate the index 3. It's very easy, actually. I need to reach the previous 2 numbers, right, by using the index. List, and what was the name? Fibonacci numbers. Fibo numbers dot get index -1 plus get index -2. -1 will bring me the previous one. -2 will bring me the first number I desire to calculate. I want to calculate. Let's do that. New Fibo number will be equal to Fibo numbers dot get to reach a value by using the index -1. This will take me to here, the previous number. But I want to add one more number, so I will use it dot Fibo numbers index get index should be calculated index -2. I have the Fibo number right now. And as long as this new Fibo number is lower than limit number, we will continue. And now I have a new Fibo number. I need to add it to the list. Fibo numbers, not that one, sorry. Fibo numbers dot add new Fibo number. There's a problem here. When I calculate the Fibo number, and if it is higher than the limit, what will happen? You know, the condition is not being checked at this step. It will add it to the list. But if it is higher than limit, I don't want to add it to the list. Let's run it like this, and I will show you. And each time in the loop, I need to increase the value, right? Value of index, because the next time, the next indexes will be calculated. Index will be increased by 1. Okay, we have created the method here. And I need to return the list wherever I used it. return Fibo numbers. I called the method here. It will return Fibo numbers, and it will be assigned to Fibonacci numbers. Now I want to print the Fibonacci numbers. Okay, let's run it. If it works, voila. If it doesn't, we will check things. Oh, we have a problem, Houston. Okay, starts and ends here. I think there is one more. Okay, it should work now. Oh, we have forgotten to say user to enter a number. It is waiting for a number. Before taking the number, let's inform user. So please enter a number and we will calculate all Fibo numbers until it. I will rerun it. This time it will print this. Okay, I will write 100. It seems right, 0, 1, 1. But here, the last value, I don't want to see any value higher than 100. This was the limit number, but it added 144. Why? Because before adding the Fibo number, new Fibo number to list, I need to check if it is higher than limit number, I should not add it. Let's write an if statement here. If new Fibo number, as long as Fibo number is lower than limit number, I will add it. If the new number 89 is lower than 100, it will add it. If it is higher than 100, the limit number, it won't add it. Let's see one more time. And we don't have 144. I want to check something. If I write a long number, let's use nines. Oh, it was out of integer, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Okay, we have out of numbers like this. All of them are Fibonacci numbers. At the first few steps, there were a lot of small numbers, but now we have huge numbers, and it's working. That's the critical point. What happens if I enter a minus number? 0, 6, minus 6. It printed the added values. We don't want to see it, right? If that's the case, how can I fix it? If I enter 0, it will still print if numbers, because we added them directly to the list. After getting the value from user, I can add if statements. If user enters minus number, I will tell him, hey, please, there is no minus Fibonacci number. If user enters 0 or 1, I will write blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's write. I should check it after taking the number from user. If limit number is smaller than 0, So, oh, it will be a little problematic. Okay, if the limit number is smaller than 0, I will write something. So, and there is no Fibonacci number smaller than 0. Else if, what do I want to check? If it is equals to 0, if the limit number equals to 0, I will print something else. Solve. There is no, let's change this one, negative Fibonacci number. This one fits the first description. There is no Fibonacci number smaller than 0. Okay, so that's better. The last one, what happens if user enters 1? It will still print this, but I don't want to see them. Else if the limit number equals to 1, so there is only one Fibonacci number smaller than 1, and it is 0. Okay, I will write else. If one of them is true, if the limit number is minus number, it will print this. If it equals to 0, it will print this. If it is equals to 1, it will print this. If none of them are true, I will create a Boolean here. Boolean flag will be true. If none of them is true, flag will be true. And I will execute all the codes if flag is true. If flag is true, oh, I should create the Boolean here before the false statements. Then I will create if flag is true. If the flag is true, I will execute all those numbers. At first, it will be false. Okay, also we should create the list outside of the if statements. Oh, let's see, I hope it works. If it works, I will try to explain it one more time. $100. Okay, it seems like it's working. What about minus number? -3. There is no negative Fibonacci number. Okay. What about 0? There's no Fibonacci number smaller than 0. Perfect. 1. Then it's 0. Okay. 9. Okay, all of them are working. At first it was working, but I wanted to add, I wanted to check a few things before executing the code. Because when user enters minus number, it was printing 0, 1, 1. Those were the added to the list before doing anything. I have created a few if-else statements, and as you can see, all of them are connected. If, else if, blah, blah, it goes on that way. And if none of them are true, and if it does not print any messages from here, the flag will be true. I created flag here. I'm just putting a mark somewhere. Okay, that's true. Run the code. It means that when Java sees that code, the mark, the flag true, it will execute this other codes. I have created a list before them, and here, if the flag is true, I am executing the codes. That's all. I did not change anything from here. If the flag is true, if there's a mark there on the wall, Java understands that it has to execute the code. That's all. Okay, thank you very much. I think for today it's enough. You can solve other questions from the slide. We are going to continue learning the lists. And you know, we are about to complete this session. I'm not sure, but tomorrow, if we are fast enough, tomorrow maybe the last lesson. We will see it tomorrow. If we cannot finish it, we will continue. But I think tomorrow it will finish. And tomorrow's lesson will be the last lesson. It might be the last lesson. Thank you very much, and we will continue tomorrow. Good night.